Welcome to HumanStrengthTraining.com. My name is David Hughes. Today we're going to talk about fat loss. So in this, we'll also be discussing what is fat, why do we store it, and also how we can kind of structure your meals around how to help burn that fat a little bit better. So what is fat? Fat is essentially just energy stored. So everything that you eat contains a certain amount of energy. So the way your body receives this is it's going to say, thank you very much for what it uses, and then it's going to put off to the side whatever it doesn't use, and this little fat storage here, okay? Or energy storage, I should say, which comes in the form of fat. So more often than not, we know exactly where these storages are, okay? So this whole concept is going to go over healthy eating habits. So we want to make sure that you're eating to have long-lasting energy. We want to build lean body mass, and also make sure that your body's functions are working the way that they're supposed to. All right, we'll go over that in just a second. Why do we store fat? So often people will go and they work on their meal structure, they go and they work out, and they are still trying to figure out what is it exactly that's going on. Why can't I figure this out? So we're going to go over two basic concepts that I run into often that are going to help put a little bit clearer picture on this. Okay, so one is going to be input versus output. Okay, so this means how much energy you're putting in, or what we just talked about, versus how much energy you're expending out. Okay, so like in exercise and stuff. So this will often work for a lot of people. What they'll do is they start eating a little bit less and they exercise a little more, and they start dropping the weight. Okay, now if you're struggling with this and you are saying, "Oh, I'm working out a lot and I can't burn off this fat," that's because there's a little. This is also an incomplete picture. All right, right here. So we want to make sure that the energy output is relative to the energy input, so that they're around the same. They're supporting each other. Okay. So the other part is your basal metabolic rate. So what this is the amount of energy it takes for you to exist. This is not something you try to do. This is the amount of energy it takes to keep your brain alive, your heart alive, and your whole body just alive and existing. Okay? So we want to make this as high as we possibly can, and there's a way that we can do this. Exercise is one of those ways. The other way is the type of foods that you eat that make your body run super efficient, and also the timing at which you eat. That's going to help raise that metabolic rate. There's a lot of benefits that come from this other than just burning fat. That's going to be what we focus on here. So now we have a pretty good idea on how the role of fat in the body, and a very basic idea, and also how your body kind of works with it. Let's go into how we can structure your entire day around for your eating habits. So very often what happens is I'll talk to people and they say, I have healthy eating habits. I'm very, very good with my meals. I was too, and I've also struggled with my weight before I figured this stuff out here. So eating healthy is not just good enough. All right, a generic thing in any goal is not good enough. There's nothing tangible to it. It's a basic idea. It's a cloud in the sky. So what we want to do is we want to slap some numbers on there. That way you can have a general grasp on how to do this if what you're doing right now is not working. Okay. So we're going to base this off of a 2,000 calorie diet, simply because 2,000 is a very easy number to work with, and I'm not very good at math. All right, so again, this is going to go off of the concept of these healthy eating habits of making sure that you're going to have long-lasting energy, you're going to build lean body mass, and also that your fat storage or your fat content is enough to help support your body. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you some very healthy easy parameters to follow. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you 40%, 40%, and 20%. Okay? So this is going to be 40% protein, 40% carbohydrates, and 20% fat out of that 2,000 calories. All right? So 40% of your entire day is going to be both protein, carbohydrates, and 20% of your entire day is, once again, is going to be fat. Okay? So remember that protein and carbohydrates both have 4 calories per gram. Okay, so each one of those equals 4 individually, not together. All right, and then fat has a total of 9 calories per gram. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do here is we have to figure out how much this is in calories and also how much this is in grams. That way you can have a way to kind of structure your day around. So 40% of 2,000 is 800. Okay, so you have 800 calories of protein, 800 calories of carbohydrates, and then 400 calories of fat. All right, because again, that's 40% of 2,000. That's 2,000 times 0.4, then 2,000 times 0.2. It comes out to these numbers for your calorie intake. So now, when you go to the store and you're putting in your food and stuff, everything comes into grams. Okay, so when you put these into grams, so again, so there's 4 calories per 800. So when you go into that is 200 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbohydrates, and then this comes out to like 44.444 for all this stuff. So we can go and say 45 grams of fat. All right, so this is throughout your entire day that you're gonna split this up. So we wanna make sure, once again, that this comes down to a basic recipe of breakfast. Make this a must. If you are not getting breakfast, add that in. That's gonna be step number 1. Lunch and dinner, okay? So breakfast needs to be a little bit heavier because again, you gotta think, you wanna give yourself something to push yourself through the entire day. Lunch is something that you wanna maintain, and then dinner is a nice way to finish off, and it should not be very, very heavy. Because again, the only thing you have to do after this is sleep, okay? So each one of these is gonna be packed with good nutrition. Now right here, what we also wanna do is we also want to add in a couple of high protein snacks to make sure we hit that number, all right? Because a lot of times what happens is people I see often, they're lacking in this number by a lot, okay? So we're gonna add a dense breakfast, a protein snack, a nice healthy lunch to help support the workout that came before or one that's coming up, a nice snack, and then a dinner that's a little bit lighter. Once again, a pack of protein, so a lot of fiber, a lot of good carbohydrates and stuff. So plug these numbers in, find out what your daily calorie range is. I often just refer people to a calorie tracker and find out your goal. Do the percentages, find out how much grams that is, get those plugged into there, and then split those up throughout the day. Make sure you're using healthy choices. Don't use garbage. You'll hate yourself later because you'll be super hungry later. Yeah, and that's a very, very healthy way, and then get into the gym and get to working. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Head over to humanstrengthtraining.com. Subscribe to the newsletter if you want to find out more information like this and also how to tear up more of your workouts. All right, thanks a lot. Take care.